Hello everyone, I'm Freaky and welcome to the video. My friends, I love God of War, or more specifically, I love the Greece era of God of War. Now, when it comes to the Norse mythology of God of War, I thought the first game for the Norse mythology was pretty good. And when it came to the second one, I thought it was good, but it had like a few things that I thought was out of place. But you know what, it was decent in its own right. But today, I want to talk about the Greece mythology. Now, the thing is, when it came to the original God of War, I thought it was freaking awesome. I just loved how ruthless Kratos was in the original game series, and the stories in those games were good as well. The fights were fantastic, the adventure was fantastic, and one of the best things about the original God of War games is you meet gods, demigods, mortals, monsters from the actual mythology. And you know what? They were all great bosses. The gods, the demigods, the monsters, the mortals, the titans, the furies, they were awesome in the original pantheon. Fighting Zeus, fighting the titans, heroes, it was so freaking awesome. And when it came to the end of that era of the God of War series, to me, I can't help but feel that there was loads of things that was unanswered, or what happened to certain characters, or whatever happened to the titans that you brought back in the third game, or what happened to the other gods that Kratos didn't kill. I mean, come on, in the third game, we bring back the titans, and later we don't know what happens to them. I was expecting like a titan god battle. Like, there was a freaking war between gods and titans, and Kratos brought the majority of them to current time. And you're telling me that just a handful of gods somehow took them down? I mean, all this was off screen. Or whatever happened to Athena? Like, she was the very last character that we saw in the original games, and we did see her in the first Norse game when Kratos was heading back home. And you know what I was thinking? I was thinking, okay, so Athena's going to be in this game and she's going to manipulate him, or we're going to have a battle with her or something. But sadly, we never got to that. And you know what else was interesting when it came to the Norse mythology, when it came to God of War? I thought it was cool that Kratos, who was from Greece and was the God of War in Greece, was talking to all these characters saying that, oh, I fought Zeus, oh, I fought the timekeepers of my land, and so on and so on. Every time he talks about Greece, to these Norse god mythologies characters like Frey and Mimir and other characters. To me, I thought that was very, very interesting. And so, these were the two things that got me making this video. The unanswered questions that was in Greece, and when Kratos was talking to characters about his time in Greece, and what there was in Greece, you know, stuff like that. And you know what? I was thinking the other day, what would happen if titans, gods, demigods and monsters was to collide with the Norse gods? And I'm not talking about a what-if scenario, like if Zeus met Odin, or if Thor met Hercules, or if the titans met the giants. No, nothing like that. But I'm talking about something else entirely. Listen, I was one of those people who was a bit peeved when we didn't get any answers to what happened to different characters, and why we didn't fight certain characters in Greece, like Typhon, the father of monsters. And for what I've been hearing, apparently Typhon was supposedly much more powerful than Zeus. And in one of the games, I think it was game 2 or game 3, is where you get to see Typhon. And you don't have like a big massive straight up battle with him and you just destroy him. That never happened in the games. I mean, come on, this guy is supposed to be much more powerful than Zeus, and he's still imprisoned. There was Aphrodite, who helped you along your journey. There was a fair few other titans that was imprisoned, like Atlas. And yeah, I know he's holding up the world and he's stuck in that place. But I think in the mythology that it was Hercules that put some pillars where Atlas was. And it's thanks to those pillars that Atlas was free. If you guys want to correct me, please do. And the titans that we brought back through time, like whatever happened to those guys? And yeah, I know that guy is dead. But again, what about the others? And what about all the other demigods and gods that wasn't seen in the game, or was in the game, but they never made a physical appearance, like the goddess Artemis or Apollo? Like, there are so many gods and demigods and titans and monsters and mortals and so on that we didn't see in the original games, or we just partially saw either in statues or they appeared in some other way. And again, there were those that we did see in the game and we didn't know what happened to them at the end of the third game. And there's also Athena out there somewhere. Now, I know there's going to be people out there who has played the games, and you're probably going to say something like, oh, but Freaky, after the death of the main gods like Poseidon, Hades and Zeus, Hera and other gods, and the titan Gaia, it was said that Greece was destroyed and chaos destroyed the land. Well, if that's the case, then why did Kratos stab himself with the Olympus sword so he could spread hope to the mortals of Greece? Because when Kratos opened Pandora's box, he absorbed hope into himself, and once he stabbed himself, hope went across the world. And the reason why Kratos did this is so that he could give mortals hope when it came to the darkest hour. And also, when it came to Athena, she said that she wanted to take over Greece and become the god of Greece. And that's exactly the point. We were told in the new games of God of War, the Norse mythology, that, oh, Greece is dead, everybody in Greece has died. The magic that I used to wield is gone because Greece has died. My homeland is dead. It's nothing but chaos there. And again, there are just so many holes in that story. And when I mean story, I'm talking about where they say that, oh, Greece is dead. Well, I'm going to bring up 3 things that would say otherwise. Number 1, Athena said that she wanted to be the god of Greece. And this was after Kratos killed Zeus and Gaia. So it is hinted that there is a chance of actually fixing everything. I mean, after when Kratos killed Gaia and Zeus, Athena says, I will be the new god of Greece, or something like that. So there is a possible hint that she might know a way of stopping the chaos that's consuming Greece. Otherwise, why would she say that? I mean, you would have thought that she would have panicked and say something like, oh no, there's nothing we can do, chaos has destroyed Greece, there's nothing I can do. But instead, she told Kratos, give me hope and I will restore Greece and become the queen of Olympus. But instead, Kratos gave it to the mortals, or mankind. But the thing is, why would he do that? Why would he do that if mankind is supposedly gone in Greece? But you know what? Maybe there is people in Greece still surviving the chaos. Otherwise, why would Kratos do that? Stabbing himself, I mean, and giving hope to mankind. And also, there's the third thing, the remaining gods, titans, demigods, mortals, monsters, that again, we saw but we never saw again. And the last time we saw them, they were still alive. There was the ones who made a brief appearance, but was never seen again. There are the characters that are imprisoned, like Typhon, and other monsters and titans, like Atlas, and the other titans, gods and demigods and monsters and so on, that never made an appearance in the game. Or we were never given answers as to where all these other gods, titans, demigods and so on was. So let's just say, for example, that Kratos is in the Norse realm, which he is, and he tells people that, oh, Greece is destroyed. But the thing is, where's the proof? Like, how does he know 100% that everything is destroyed and his homeland's dead? Well, there is this one part in the game Ragnarok where Kratos was talking to Mimir and Freya, and Mimir says, the reason why you can't use your magic powers is because most likely your home is dead. That's why you can't use those magic powers that you used to have. But you know what? I can debunk this. What if Kratos can use his magic powers only in Greece, and he can't use his magic powers anywhere else in the realms? Because remember, Mimir said that magic comes from the earth. But what if he needs to be in the Greece realm in order to use those magic powers? And since Kratos is in the Norse realm, he can't use his magic powers. So let's just say, for example, that Freya went to Greece. She wouldn't be able to use her magic powers because she's not in the Norse realm. So yeah, that does make sense. Now, let's get to the main meat as to why I made this video. Now, to some of you who may or may not know, in the game of God of War, Ragnarok, Odin and many of his goons have been more or less wiped out. So where would you go after beating the equivalency of Zeus? Because Zeus was the end-all of end-alls, and Odin was the end-all of end-alls. And more or less all the powerful gods in the Norse realm are either out of commission or they just don't want to fight anymore. And I can't think of any other Norse gods or giants that Kratos and his son and his allies could fight next in the Norse realm. So what exactly could they do in the next God of War game? I mean, again, Thor's gone, the World Serpent's gone, Odin's gone. I really can't think of anything else that they could do in the next God of War game that revolves around Norse mythology. And if you guys have any ideas, please let me know in the comments below, okay? I mean, seriously, what can they face off against in the Norse mythology? I really don't know. I can't think of anything else that could be much more powerful than Odin. Now, I know what some people are going to say. They're going to say, oh, I know, Freaky. They could be heading to other realms like Egypt or China or other places that have pantheons. And you know what? That's not a bad idea. Like, there are plenty of pantheons out there that they could go to. I mean, in my opinion, I really wish they would go to Egypt. That would be so freaking awesome. But I think they should finish off the Norse mythology with a trilogy, and then they should move on to other pantheons. And yeah, I know there's like 1 or 2, 3 or 4 things that they could do with the Norse mythology that they could finish off with a trilogy. But in my honest opinion, I think they should bring back the Greek pantheon. And no, I'm not talking about, oh, let's bring back Zeus from the dead and let's bring back everybody that Kratos has killed back from the dead and face off against them again. No, I'm talking about the survivors and the characters that we didn't see in the previous games come into the third game of the Norse mythology. And I'm talking about the characters from Greece. I mean, think about this. More or less, Greece is destroyed, but who's to say that there could be survivors? Other titans, other gods, other demigods, other mortals, other monsters. What if all those characters that we didn't see in the previous games, and the ones that we did see but never saw their deaths, what if all the remaining pantheons that are still alive within Greece wanted revenge on Kratos? Like the remaining titans, like Typhoid, Atlas, the remaining gods, Athena, and so on and so on. What if all those guys said, hey, we are all in this mess all because of Kratos. Let's put aside our pay differences and go after him. And so all the remaining titans and gods and mortals and monsters all go to the Norse realm and they try to find Kratos. And when all the remaining Greece pantheons steps foot onto the Norse mythology, they would be trespassing and it would be an all-out war. The remaining Greek pantheons versus the remaining Norse pantheons. Because remember, loads of gods, loads of giants died too. So you know what? I think it would be cool if the remaining pantheons of Greece faced off against the Norse pantheons, the ones that are still alive. I mean, I just love the thought that there's a war between the Norse and the Greeks. Can you guys imagine the world serpent facing off against Atlas, or Aphrodite's facing off against Freya, or one of the titans facing off against the giants from Norse mythology? That would be freaking sweet. But the thing is, who could we use from Greek mythology that hasn't been killed by Kratos or anybody else? Well, the thing is, when it comes to Greek mythology, I'm not really 100% sure who else they could use. I mean, yeah, obviously, I know Zeus, Hades, Poseidon, Hera, and so on and so on. But from what I've read up, apparently there's like about hundreds of gods and deities. Like, loads of them. Monsters, demons, river guardians, and so on and so on. So in my opinion, I think they should bring out all of them. All the gods, titans, demigods, monsters, etc. that Kratos didn't kill should be introduced to the God of War franchise. It could be something like Avengers Civil War, except with gods and titans and giants and so on. But who exactly should we have as the bosses? Who should be the big bads if the Greek pantheons was to come back? Again, I don't know every single god, deity, and so on and so on, but I'll give you a short list of characters I think they should bring in the God of War franchise. Okay, and the first one is Typhon, the father of monsters. Again, this guy is supposed to be much more powerful than Zeus, so I think he should be the big honcho when it comes to the final boss. Again, we see him in God of War, but he's really not like a boss. He was just imprisoned, and we never see him again. And again, he is supposed to be the most powerful being in Greece, so I definitely think that he should make a return. Okay, and the next thing is the giants. Now, in Greek mythology, there was supposedly these giants that was fighting the gods of Olympus, and supposedly these giants were so powerful that even the gods was scared of them. I think their names was the Gigantes or something. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And supposedly it was Hercules' job to defeat these things, but I don't think we saw them in God of War. So yeah, I definitely think that these things would make a great addition to the army. And the next character they could bring in is Athena. Now, when we saw her in God of War, she was in some sort of astral plane or something, and she was there when Kratos stabbed himself. And we also saw Athena in God of War 2018 when Kratos went to go and get the Blades of Chaos. So it is hinted that she might be still around. Maybe she's back in Greece trying to fix everything, or maybe she's invisible following Kratos around. Who knows? But I definitely think that she should definitely come back in future video games, especially in the war. Or maybe she could be the one who gathers everybody that is left in Greece and say, we're going to go after Kratos, or something like that. And the fourth one is all of the Greek gods that was never seen in the games, or was seen in the games, but their fates was unknown. Now, there is some Greek gods that was in God of War, like Aphrodite, who did help Kratos along the way. And to be honest, I completely forgot which god was in the game, but their fates was left unknown. Again, like Aphrodite. If you guys know any other gods from the Greek pantheons that we did see in the games, but wasn't killed and is still alive somewhere, please let me know. And there was also other gods, either we did briefly see, or we saw statues of, like Artemis and Apollo, you know, those sort of gods. And there's also gods that was mentioned, but we never saw them in the game. Either they were mentioned or we saw statues of them, you know, that sort of stuff. And also, we have the other top gods. I mean, yeah, there's Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, and so on that we saw in the God of War games. But what about Zeus's other siblings? There was Demeter, there was Hesita, and there was Chiron, Zeus's half-brother. And let's not forget about the daughters and sons of all the gods that was killed by Kratos. And there's like loads of them that wasn't shown or mentioned, and we were never told about their fates. So I say, bring all the gods that we never saw in the previous God of War games and bring them in future games. Okay, now let's go on to the next one. And the next one is the Titans. Okay, I know that Atlas is still alive, holding up the world, and obviously there's Typhon. Now, when it came to the Titans, when Kratos brought them back in the third game, I find it hard to believe that the Titans would just be defeated, just like that. I mean, yes, some of them did fall. I think one or two of them was defeated by Kratos, but to be honest, most of them, if not nearly all of them, was never seen again after when you brought them to Olympus. So where were they? I mean, come on, at least one of them, or two, or three, must have survived. Or what about the Titans that was sealed away? Not just Atlas, but I'm pretty sure there was a few more other Titans that were sealed away by Zeus. I think one of them was a fire Titan or something in one of the other games. And there was also the Titans that we never saw in the games. And there was also Titans that we did see, or was mentioned, but they never really made a physical appearance within the games. I mean, yeah, sure, some of them could have died, but what about the sealed Titans? What about the Titans that Kratos brought back with him? Yeah, no, one or two of them have died, but I highly doubt that every single Titan has died. So yeah, what I'm saying is, get the remaining Titans that we didn't see in the games, and get the ones that we assume is alive. So yeah, there you go. And not just these characters, but what about other demigods or heroes, immortals that was well known within Greek mythology? There's bound to be a few of those. Or what about other legendary monsters that didn't make an appearance within the games? Or what about legendary items or legendary locations that was never shown within the games? And you know what? This would give the creators of God of War the perfect opportunity to bring in all these characters from Greece. Like, bring every single character from these pantheons that aren't dead and we didn't see in the God of War games. And when I mean pantheons, I'm talking about the Greek ones. But what would be their roles? What exactly could they do? Well, there could be a few things that they could do. Number one, every single deity, mortal, titan, god that's left is trying to stabilize the Greek world, and maybe it's not working, so they have no choice but to move to somewhere else, a place where chaos cannot reach. Or again, they could go after Kratos out of revenge for all sorts of things like destroying their home, destroying their fellow titans, gods, and so on. This would be a really good idea. And again, when it comes to the Norse gods, ever since Ragnarok, there has been gods that have fallen ever since the 2018 game of God of War. And thanks to Ragnarok, everything is more or less settled. But saying that, they too should also bring out gods, giants, monsters, and so on that was in Norse mythology that we haven't seen yet and wasn't in the previous game or in Ragnarok. And just like the Greek pantheon, I'm not sure who else they can bring in from the Norse pantheon, but whatever's left, they should totally be in the next game, facing off against of whatever's left from the Greek pantheon. I mean, more or less, they've gone through the entirety of the Norse mythology, except for a few gods that's missing, including the Greek ones. And yeah, when it came to the Greek and the Norse mythology, we got to see gods and monsters and giants and titans and so on. Like, more or less a story that these two pantheons was telling. So again, why not have these two pantheons fight each other, and Kratos could have some allies from the Greek pantheons to fight against monsters like Typhon and Atlas. And think about this. Do you guys remember when Kratos found Surtur and they turned him into Ragnarok? Well, his other half is still there. I mean, if they wanted to, they could turn Silmara into another Ragnarok to fight against the Greek pantheons. I just really like the idea that the Greek pantheons will clash with the North pantheons. Monsters fighting monsters. Greek pantheons talking and having discussions with North pantheons. I mean, this is a genius idea. And whoever's left after this war, they could go to the Maya pantheons, or the Egyptian pantheons, or the Chinese pantheons. I just really love this idea, and I definitely think they should make an idea out of this for a game. I mean, would you guys like to see this? The Greek pantheons, or whatever's left of them, is facing off against the Norse pantheons? Please let me know in the comments down below, and let me hear what you think about this idea. And yeah, that's all I gotta say about this subject. So, what do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you like this idea? Which of the Greek pantheons would you like to see? Which of the Norse pantheons would you like to see? Please let me know in the comments down below, and let's get a discussion going. I'm Freaky. Peace out. And please don't forget to check out my other social medias. Please go and check out my alternative video platforms: Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Twitch, and please come and hang out on my Discord server. We can play games, have a movie night or a series night, or you can watch me play a few games. And if you guys have any suggestions of any videos you want me to react to, or any video ideas in general, you can tell me on my Discord. I'm also on Twitter, Gab, Getter, and Paula. I'm on Locals, Tumblr, Minds, and if you guys want to support me, please go and check out my Subscribe Star. It's like Patreon, but better. All these things are in the description box below, so please go and check them out and subscribe to them. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out.